Okay.
We're good? Okay. Okay, this is the regular monthly meeting of the Woodbridge Board of Finance, originally scheduled for Thursday, December 19th, but we had to move it up. And tonight is Monday, December 16th. So with that, public comments, seeing no one in the audience, we'll move on to Mr. Genovese.
Thank you. Our projection for our November of 2013 is a shortfall of $38,000, and some highlights for that. Intergovernmental revenues are projected to experience a $143,000 surplus. That's namely in two grants that we received that we had not budgeted for, at least for the whole amount. First was for $41,000 for the revenue sharing grant, which was a surplus we had not budgeted for. And we received an additional $120,000 in town road aid, which we had budgeted $120,000 and we received $240,000. So there's some surplus funds there. In department revenue, we do have a few line items that are actually projecting a surplus this year. One, they are conveyance fees, town clerk fees, zoning permits. Those three seem to be doing well, and collectively generate a surplus at this point of about $46,000. That's in contrast to the golf shortfall, which is projected at $312,000. So the net for that is a shortfall of $266,000. Those are sort of the major items. All the other items are pretty close to budget so far. Interest income is still lagging this year. We are projecting a shortfall of $20,000 in that account. And employee benefits, there is a surplus projected of $75,000, mainly in healthcare, which is a result of some changes in coverage. The rates were lower than we had in our budget. And also we've had some vacant positions. So those three things have combined for a surplus in that account.
Okay, any questions of that? Okay. Tony, the status of the audit?
We have a final draft. Actually, I was just reviewing it today, and it's our goal, my goal anyway, to have it filed and completed by this Friday morning.
Oh, good.
So it's all electronic now. We file everything electronically.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You'll mail it?
At least we mail it to some state agencies, but some other places we electronically file them. So
Okay.
we have a continuing disclosure requirement. This is an example. We're required to annually disclose financial information to our bondholders, namely those who invested in bonds, and in the town's name. So every year we have to file certain information with the continuing disclosure agreement that we issue when we issue bonds. So that's electronic the last couple of years. So.
Okay. And Country Club of Woodbridge financial report. Anything in particular you want to mention on that?
That
Lost about 85 grand.
right.
So this would be what, 4 months?
This is, yes, correct, through October. And you have to see all the detail there. And if you look on the balance sheet, the 85 grand is our net loss, and so far it's 720 since the beginning of the operation as the net losses, not including debt service.
Okay. And we're going to be talking about that later on. Total. And Woodbridge Board of Ed, you going to talk about that, Sandy?
I will.
Okay, so this is an FYI also. Funding request, I think there's just one, and it's a line item transfer, I believe. And it's we are taking money from the health insurance line item and moving it to workers' comp because the I guess the premium came in higher than we thought.
Right, so the surplus that I reported earlier was after this transfer.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So,
really?
right,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Okay.
So we had this, we have a decent surplus this year in healthcare.
Okay, so I'll move acceptance of line item transfer 1314-11 in the amount of $38,000.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
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 Approval of minutes. This is our regular November 21st meeting, and I will move acceptance of the minutes of the November 21st meeting as presented.
Second.
Any adjustments, corrections, etc.? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Okay. Liaison reports. Okay, starting with Amity. Let's get to a few items here. There's nothing earth-shattering going on at the on the up to year-to-date statements. They're still operating at a surplus, but what is of interest? If I can find it. Well, the initial budget for 14-15 is coming in high. Probably about a 4.9% increase. I'm trying to see where I've got that here. Yeah, here it is. Update on two. Okay. The preliminary numbers, these are preliminary, and Mike Nast and Jack have been told that this is kind of earth-shattering, but the budget is up by $1,937,000, and town allocations are up by $1,957,000. Now, at Woodbridge, what that means is an increase of $561,000 if this were to pass. But with Orange at 652 and Bethany, the highest at 744, because they have more, the population has shifted. Yeah, so Bethany's increase would be 8.59%. Orange is 3.02, and Woodbridge would be 4.32. So, what basically is, and again, most of this again is contractual stuff. Salaries 665, paraprofessionals 202, medical and dental insurance 459, special ed 583. So there are only a few things that are just optional, and one is installing a new student information system, which is $61,000. I guess at the end of the school day, there are no security guards there, and somebody walked in a suit and tie and stole a computer or something. So he wants to have a security guard there after school lets out, because the kids are in that building all the time. That's only $19,000. And then a telephone system, which will not be supported. Software, I guess the company's out of business, and the software, if it were to fail, that would eliminate, of course, the 911 system, which is another $60,000. So, but in any event, those are the preliminary numbers. I think they got the gist that this would be very difficult to swallow in a very tight year. So more to come. This is just a preliminary number. The other thing which I still find amazing is the superintendent search. It's like the best kept secret in the world. You can't ask anybody. They're sworn to secrecy. I understand that they're going to start interviewing people, but you can't get any information. It's like a closed door. They won't talk to you about it. And they are. I asked Mike Nast if he's involved, and absolutely not. So they have no. Yeah, the Board of Ed is doing it themselves. I mean, Mike Nast has done this kind of work, so he'd be an ideal asset but he's not involved. Neither was John Brady, and that was probably okay because John Brady didn't think he should be. But no, But if you ask them how many finalists, they won't tell you. How many you're going to interview, they won't talk about it. So it's crazy, but I'm sure we'll be hearing something at some point. Because the only thing I could get, and I got it out of Mike Nass, is what they're going to be starting interviewing some candidates. So if I hear anything, I'll let you know. Mike, you have anything? I know we're early, so a lot of these things
the
haven't taken place.
commission is actually meeting tonight.
Okay, Karen?
I was not able to go to Human Services, but I did go to EMS on 11/25. AMR continues to provide response to the town within the established standards. or above, with very few exceptions. The commission continues to move forward with its initiative to inform and educate the residents about the hazards related to falls, which continue to be the largest percentage of emergency calls that they receive. And the EMS Commission submitted a capital budget request for an automatic chest compression machine. Sergeant Tom Balch of the police department attended our meeting on behalf of AMR, and he described actually quite graphically the benefits of the machine, as when the response team is in the field manually pressing on a chest and hearing bones crack, that it has an emotional effect on, you might not apply the kind of pressure that may be needed, whereas this machine would eliminate that emotional response. The commission and the emergency responders are asking the board for serious consideration of this potential life-saving device.
Okay, thank you. Andrew? They haven't met yet, I'm sure.
No, we met.
Oh, okay.
Mostly executive session, personnel. Basically, their budget, the only thing that really they're running over is overtime. They have a new hire that will be entering school. And basically, the cars they're buying now are all four-wheel drive automobiles, and they seem to be very, very happy with them. And that was basically it. It's a very short meeting.
Okay, the Library Commission met on Monday, December 9th, and they reviewed the budget proposal, which is very reasonable. One of the changes in terms of how they'll be presented is that Todd is actually grouping all the full-time employees together and all the part-time employees together. There was a mixture of those in the past, and he felt it would make a lot more sense to separate those out. He is actually running an orientation for the new Lion members, and since Bethany joined, Woodbridge is basically the buddy library for Bethany, which is nice. And they're going to pursue just one more library that has a new director as part of Lion. That'll bring their membership to 30, and they want to stop basically at that point. There were two donations actually to the library, which are worth citing. The Rotary Club donated $400 so that the library could continue participation in the Common Core objectives, which is a new initiative for the state related to elementary school education. And Andrew Etter, I don't know if he still lives in town or not, but he has actually given money to, that's a stipend basically, to implement what's called conversational reading, and really encouraging purchase of certain types of books and having a conversation through the library. And they've seen an increase in circulation in their new music CD collection, so that's actually going very well. And their reference staff did set up a small affordable healthcare information display this month at the library. And the Board of Ed Finance Committee met also on December 9th, and we did review the budget submission. Right now it's at 3.73%, and we talked about ways to bring that down under 3%. So I think that's really what the goal is, and to really look at benefits, insurance, and look at what's happened over the past few years, and maybe be a little more aggressive in terms of their estimates instead of being very conservative. There's a lot of attention in the budget paid to student enrollment, particularly in the primary years, and the classroom sizes. That had been a request of the Board of Ed to really, match the enrollment sizes that the board has set for all the different grades. There will only be 5 classes of kindergarteners, not 6, unless there's an influx of many more families with young children. And at this point in the year, the projection for their budget is a surplus of $64,000. And this is a result of staff savings in terms of a retirement that was not in their prior budget and a resignation that has not been filled. They're actually using a tutor for this math position. They will hire into that for next year. And right now, for Wintergreen, we have 5 seats, and there's also a busing line item for that also, and we don't have anyone enrolled in Wintergreen at this point. So there are more opportunities for some savings. So I think that the Finance Committee and the board would like to try to get closer to kind of a realistic budget without as large a surplus going forward.
Tony won't be sleeping tonight between Amity and Beecher. Okay, the item on our agenda is executive session, but before we go into executive session, this is going to be, unless he decides to come, Joe's last meeting with us. He's retiring January 15th.
That's correct.
After many fine years of service, and he sat next to me for how many years now? 13 years. We've had a lot of laughs.
Yes, we have.
And Joe's done a lot of serious work. He's been a terrific administrative officer, and I think his greatest asset is that he truly does care about this town, which goes a long way in his position. And I was walking out of church with him yesterday, and person after person after person was coming up wishing him well in his retirement. So, Joe, you're going to be missed. I'm going to miss you here, but I'm going to still see you. So,
Thank you.
Best of luck in whatever you choose to do.
Well, thank you. If I may have just one thing, I want to caution everybody, if you go out the front door tonight, be exceptionally careful. We have water coming off, or had water coming off the roof this afternoon, and it froze about a 2-foot length right from the step out, and then you could see the rest was nice and clear. So I got to hold the maintenance guys, and they did put down some more salt, but just be aware, it could be treacherous over there.
Okay.
Can we give them a round of applause?
Sure. All set to go into executive session?
So with this, I'll make a motion that we move into executive session pursuant to section 1-206 of the Connecticut General Statutes. And I will invite, Jerry's going to join us, and I guess that's about it.
Yes, Karen and I have to leave.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Okay. We are out of executive session at approximately 6:47, and no votes were taken in executive session. I'd just like to bring that up. So, based on the discussion we had in executive session, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the contract between the, or authorize Ellen to sign the contract. The amended contract between the town and Billy Casper Golf as presented.
I second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
That's a Merry Christmas.
Thank you, everyone.
And with that, I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Jerry.
Have a good holiday.
Thank you.
You too.
See ya.
Thank you.